What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher, Whyte. Dillian Whyte states that he will return in December with an opponent unknown at this time. Excuse me. But he is coming back to the ring. Now, that's good news because Whyte's been off for a while since all this stuff is going on. He still doesn't know. He says he has to keep his head low and, you know what I mean, and just train and work, you know. And they, of course, asked him about the KSI versus, Logan Paul fight and the rematch, actually. And he was like, it's good for boxing. I think it's really good for boxing. You bring a whole different category of people to the sport of boxing. So, and he was asked about the hardcore boxing fans, right? And he said this. He said the hardcore boxing fans are the most ungrateful people on this planet. They don't respect anything. They don't respect mediocre fights. They don't respect that. Look, let me counterpunch Dillian Whyte. I know he's trying to sell the KSI thing because it's going to be on DAZN. DAZN is a streaming app. A lot of fighters fight on DAZN. Everyone from Golovkin to Canelo to Joshua, right? And I know that he has to sell a certain scenario, a narrative. He has to talk about KSI versus Logan Paul, a certain way. But I understand that. But saying, hey, hardcore boxing fans are very ungrateful. No, I'm one of them. I just expect better fights. Not saying we're going to get them, but I just expect better fights because I know those fights can be made based on what we have as fight fans and what's available. We tend to have a lot of mediocrity fights, mediocre fights. You know what I'm saying? That we settle for, but we're not happy with. So if that's what he was referring to, yeah, we want to see good fights from good fighters. Yes, we criticize the sport. It's the sport that I love, that I hate so much for a reason, people. Now I do agree with him for, the build-up, the platform that they possess, being YouTubers. Basically a big-ass grudge match part 2, but for real this time. That's all that really is, okay? Now we have the hype. We have Shannon Briggs hyping it more and more. You know what I mean? So it looks good. It sounds good. You know what I mean? But back to real boxing. Dillian Whyte, he wants to get in there and fight again. But then he's frustrated and everyone else is frustrated and other trainers from other fighters are frustrated. So everyone is going through the ringer with this because we're trying to figure out how did this get the way it got. It had to be some kind of corruption or fuck up somewhere, But that's water under the bridge. Well, it's kind of not water under the bridge, but that particular situation is coming to an end, hopefully, But as far as Dillian Whyte's going to speak his mind. He's going to call us ungrateful, being hardcore boxing fans, But I would rather see the best fight the best, like the hardcore boxing doctrine would be written, right? So if you want to call me ungrateful and everyone else like me, so be it. Because, as long as we put up with certain fights, we're going to get spoon-fed these fights, okay? These fights will continue to be made because guess what? We're going to watch them. People stop watching them. People will say, oh shit, we have to do something. You know what I mean? We have to do something about this. So let's bring two good fighters together and make spark a match to make a fire again. Because if you keep spoon feeding us these fights, right? The casuals, even if the casuals see, because it'll get to a point a casual boxing fan will see this fight ain't shit. Where did this fight come from? The only thing that saves it if it's entertaining, right? Non-boring, action, That's the only way a casual would get into it, you know. But us as hardcore boxing fans, is another level, and it's a greater understanding of knowing why a fight goes the way it is based on skill. You're not supposed to get hit with punches. You're supposed to slip and duck and dodge punches. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, you don't supposed to take punishment. So for the people that's entertaining us, all of us, taking punishment, Gotti, Ward, Mildred Taylor, Tyson, you know, all types of people that take, Gabe Rosado, perfect example. These guys are damaging themselves, possibly for the long haul, and a lot of other fighters that has already been or is already in that situation. So it might look cool, it might be exciting as hell, it might have action, but at the end of the day, I understand why these guys are getting hit. They're getting hit because they're less skillful, right? Now, if that puts people in the seats, okay, but it's a catch-22, right? So the hardcore boxing fan, again, would expect to see people of the highest pedigree fight each other since you're putting your life on the line, if that makes sense. So that's my counterpunch on that. So we'll stay tuned to see what Dillian Whyte who he chooses to fight next. Okay, so that's the main thing we got to figure out. You guys tell me what you think about Dillian Whyte's statements. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.